please welcome Diploma Program 11th grade student Guliko Simaevi.
Greetings. People cannot say no to their origin or culture, as culture determines who you truly are. You were born this way. It is your true identity. The best example of this is Amin Mellow's book, In the Name of Identity, Violence and the Need to Belong. The author retells the story of a man who lives in France and is black. So for French, he's not considered to be a Frenchman as his skin color is not white. And in Africa, he's a foreigner as he does not know neither the native's language nor is familiar with their traditions and culture. So the question is, who is that man by his origins, or who am I? My name is Guliko Simaevi. I live in Tbilisi, Georgia. I was born and brought up here, just like many of my friends, the Georgian kids. But I belong to the Kurdish population of Georgia, and I'm Yezidi by my religion. Throughout childhood, my biggest problem was shame, and I'll tell you why. I'd like to recite Gwendolyn Brooks' words. Don't let anyone call you a minority if you're black or Hispanic or belong to some other ethnic group. You are no less than other people. Today, I agree with her, but years ago, I used to think and feel differently. I have spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid I'll say something wrong. I have an example for you. I remember about 6 years ago when I was in 5th grade, children were talking about different parts of Georgia, the places where they came from. And as I was ashamed of displaying my origin, I did not say the truth and said that I was Georgian. I did that because the stereotypes about Kurds were always associated with uneducated people. So as I mentioned, throughout childhood, this was my biggest problem, shame. That was it. I was never really able to tell people where my last name came from. In 9th grade, 2 years ago, I even started acting foolish, and whenever people asked me who I was, I said, I don't know, I have no idea, with a big smile on my face. But then something happened, something changed me, and that something was me starting to wake up and finally learning to say the truth. Now, I know that many of you here might not get the same chance that I did, but I want you to know how I got over my problem. Last year, when I was obliged to do a personal project, in the beginning, to be honest, I didn't know what I was going to work on, but I had one clear aim. I didn't want to work on something that had already been created. So I decided to make an investigation about my family's history, and later I made up my mind to enlarge my project and write about Kurdish diaspora. But that does not matter. The main point is that the goal of my project was to, first of all, identify who I am, where I come from, how my ancestors appeared to come and live in Georgia, and to get acquainted with customs, tradition, culture, ethnography. I wanted to know everything about my people. And after that project, now, today, when I know who I am, I'm not ashamed of it anymore. And I'm proud of it, because I belong to one of the oldest nations of the world. I'm thankful and grateful to my school for giving me this opportunity, and I'm proud of the choice that I made, because today I know exactly that there are only a few things that truly belong to me in this life. And those 3 things are who I am, who I was, and who I want to be. Sometimes I thought to myself, what if they know, my friends, what if they know that my last name does not look quite Georgian, but at least my name sounds Georgian, right? So that will give me a pass. I've always been afraid of revealing my origin. In classes, if I felt like the discussion about nationalities was about to start up, I was immediately leaving, or pretending that I have a sore throat, and childish things like that. I was never really able to tell people where my last name came from, and why did I do that? Why? Simply because I was afraid. I was afraid that I wouldn't be accepted, or that I'd lose my friends, or that I'd be made fun of. I just thought that they wouldn't like me for who I am anymore. I thought they would consider me to be less than themselves. So later on, after this project, I finally learned how to say the truth. But that was not my only problem. I was also afraid of coming up on the stage and singing. Yeah, people tell me I can sing, and I believe that all of you in this room make live performances in the shower, and so do I, and I deserve Grammys for that. Just kidding, no, I don't. But, so whenever somebody turned on some music or started to sing, I would start singing along with a very low voice though. And later on, when they turned around, like started staring and actually listening to me, I was turning into a turtle that never came out of its shell. One day, I was forced to go up the stage and sing. I was super afraid. I felt like I was choking. I felt my knees, hands, everything trembling, probably just like now. I actually thought I sounded like a frog with throat cancer or like cold for a minute, and probably I did, who knows. But then, when it was over, when, you know, my suffering was over, people actually liked it. And guess what? Since then, no one was able to get me off the stage. Seriously, the microphone just got stuck to my palm. So, anyways, my point is that, as usual, I hid my voice. And so, now my question to you is, why was I trying to fit in when I was made to stand out? Why do we always try to fit in? People, if no one ever hears you, if no one ever knows who you truly are, how are they going to learn your song? How will they see who you truly are and look into your soul? We're all wonderful people, but when did we all get so fearful? Maybe we're a little different, but we all matter, so why let our voices be tamed? There's no need to be afraid, there's no need to be ashamed. I will stand with you, my friends. I wish we Yezidi people were more integrated into contemporary life of Georgia, and I wish all minorities that live in Georgia nowadays one day will be equal and accepted as rightful citizens of our motherland, Georgia. And yes, I do call this place, this country, my homeland. And so, I still have a dream, like Martin Luther King said. I have a dream that one day all nations will hold the truth to be self-evident that all men are created to be equal. And so let freedom ring. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And when we allow this happen, when we allow freedom ring from every village, from every city, and from every state, we'll be able to speed up that day when all of God's children will be equal and accepted as rightful citizens. And we'll be able to join our hands, all of God's children, black men and white men, Protestants and Catholics, to join our hands and sing in Old Negro spiritual, free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we're free at last. And so, that is how I got over my problem. I started talking, showing and expressing myself, opening up to the world, and most importantly, not being ashamed. Main thing is to finally understand that you are no less than anybody else, and to accept yourself for who you were born to be. And if you're facing the same problem I did, stop hiding, start telling. Start now, start today, start here, with what you have, with your fear, your doubt, your pain, with everything. Just start now and don't stop. And trust me, one day it will get easier. You'll be able to show the world who you truly are, and later you will even enjoy being different. All you have to do is accept yourself. People cannot say no to their origin or culture, as culture determines who you really are, and you were born this way. And Georgians will always be Georgians, as I will always stay Yezidi.
Got the words to change a nation, but you're biting your tongue. You spent a lifetime stuck in silence, afraid you'll say something wrong. If no one ever hears it, how we're gonna learn your song? So come on, come on, come on, come on. The heart is loud as lying, so I let your voice be tamed. Maybe we're a little different, there's no need to be ashamed. You've got a light to fight the shadow, so stop hiding it away. So come on, come on. I wanna sing, I wanna shout, I wanna scream till the words try about